Hello! Today's exciting because I planted out most of my stock seedlings. It took me about 2 hours to get them all in the ground, and I still have like another maybe half a tray left that I had in the garage. I forgot to harden off, so I'll just do the rest of that in a couple of days. April 22nd and it's not past my last frost date. Our last frost date here in Alaska, in Anchorage in Alaska, is about at the end of May. Sometimes some people say the beginning of June, but I would say like May 21st. But honestly, my weather forecast right now looks like there's no like nights under 32. 36 degrees at night. It's still considered a light frost. I have a lot of cold hardy plants, so a lot of those are going out into the high tunnel. The stock is all planted out into the high tunnel, so they're going to be just fine. They're pretty cold hardy, and also they like to start early. So with stock in particular, I think you want to plant it when your daytime temperatures are a certain amount of time. I think it's when it gets to be like 13 hours of daylight per day. I think we're definitely well past that here in Alaska. I'll just look online and double check to see where we're at. But I planted them out earlier. This is when I got to it this year. I'm even starting to move some of my plants that will die in a frost, like snapdragons. They're pretty cold hardy, and they grow stronger in like colder temperatures when they start out in colder temperatures. But yeah, if they get to 32 degrees for too long, they will all die. But anyways, I'm moving them out into the hoop house. I've left them on my porch accidentally overnight the last couple of nights just because I forget to bring in my plants, and they've all been fine. Thankfully, it's been like 34, 35 degrees at night. But yeah, it's just kind of an exciting time because I'm getting things in the ground. Also, I wanted to show you some, like my Costco haul part 2, my Costco bulbs and roots, perennial roots part 2, because I planted up a bunch more. Okay, let me remind you of some of the things I already had planted from my last video. I think I did the lilies from this bag, and they're really good. They're outside on the deck right now. Let me show you. Some of them even have like the flower bulbs starting to form. It's a little earlier than I want, but I don't know, it's good to keep track of this year and next year if I decide to plant more lilies or, you know, resprout these. Hopefully they'll stay alive. They are perennial, but they'll freeze in containers here in Alaska. I'm zone 4B. So I'll either put these in the ground or I'll take them into the garage to overwinter. Anyways, it's good to know how long they'll take to bloom for me. So I'll be able to better predict when I get those blooms, what arrangements I can use them in. Probably I'll start them a little bit later next year. So I still have not gotten around to planting the rest of it. They still look alive, and I think, you know, they'll still do well if I plant them now, which I might. I just have no space. Here are the gladiolus bulbs. Yeah, they don't look super dry. I can still see like healthy living sprouts coming out. So I'm not super worried about those. And it's been like maybe now, I'll have to for sure double check when I bought the first batch, but maybe like definitely over a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, maybe even 2 months ago is when I first bought them. So they're holding up really well, and the lilies did super well, so I'm really happy with that. Some of the other though plants, roots that I got from Costco, well, they're from Longfield Gardens but sold like through Costco, are lily of the valley, and I actually had a few planted up. I just wanted to see how long they would take to go to bloom indoors, and then I was gonna plant the rest of them, but they kind of all just like dried out, and it's my fault. I should have put all of these in the garage as soon as I got them, knowing that I wasn't gonna plant them up like anytime too soon. But I left them in the office. It gets really hot there, and I just wasn't checking up on them, and they all dried and died. I planted them up just to kind of see what would still work. So the lily of the valley roots I planted up. I kind of just like laid them out on a tray in like kind of a shallow layer of potting mix. I've been keeping it moist, seeing if anything, you know, does come up, if the roots are still alive. And I think one of them at least is still alive, but I think I did manage to kill the rest of them. I was planning on selling them because I have a lot of lily of the valley growing in the shady spot in the flower beds that I pressed up just in front of my house, and they do really well. Like, I love them, and I love the delicate little like white flowers that come off of it. Okay, here's an example of one of the lily of the valley that I potted up and did sprout. I wish I had gotten it much earlier on when it was like fresh and beautiful. A bunch of the flowers just like dried and fell off, but it was a really gorgeous bloom. I mean, this is obviously still alive, it's just not blooming anymore. Because I don't have like very much of them to sell. Oh, here are some other examples. These haven't bloomed yet, but I've just not been taking care of them super well. They're not getting a lot of light, and I've also let them dry out, maybe a bit too much. But yeah, since I don't have like very many, I think I'm just gonna put them in my own garden, just like add to when I already have in the ground. But at the same time that I bought like this big bag that had my lilies and the lily of the valleys, I also bought a bag of like 2 different varieties of dahlias, and I got those potted up and they seem fine. I don't think they like got too dried out or desiccated at all. I think tubers can, you know, maybe withstand that a little bit better than just those, you know, really thin roots. So I got those potted up like a week or 2 ago, and I'll show you how they're doing. They're doing great. I also planted these clematis roots. They came as bare roots. And clematis do really well. They're, you know, a perennial you can rely on in zone 4B here in Alaska where I live. They like the sun. They're winter hardy in zones 4 to 9. So if they're in the ground, I think they'll do well. Yeah, I'll just like cross my fingers and hope. Sometimes I plant them in just like the wrong location. And the spot I do want to plant this in, maybe I won't. It's like shade for most of the day. It's honestly where my lily of the valley are growing, but I am just hoping like it'll climb up and then it'll start to get more sun. But maybe I'm just like being a little too cheeky with that. Maybe it's, you know, not going to go the way I planned. Whatever, we'll see. There are 2 varieties in this pack, Miss Bateman and Niobe, and I think only one of the varieties survived. So I think Niobe, which is the darker one, that survived. Those roots survived like the dry conditions that I kept them in. Like the month and a half that I kept them just in the office, not planted up. So those are starting to sprout and I'm excited for those. But the white ones, Miss Bateman, I don't think they're gonna grow. They looked really dry when I potted them up, but we'll see. I potted them up just in case, you know, they started to grow, and I'm keeping them moist. But right now they haven't sprouted, not like the Niobe ones have, so I might just put that to the side and just take another L. So here, this is another shelf that Brennan and I set up. We got it from Costco. I have some of my perennials growing there. And these are the dahlias and how they're doing. So, I forgot. So one of the varieties is Summer Flame. I think that's an orange one. And the other is Garden Wonder, which is the red one. Down here are also the Clematis, Niobe. These are the bags that the dahlias came in. I just decided to throw out of them. Now I kind of regret it. I wish I just put they would be a lot neater if they were in another container like that, but oh well, I'll just move them. Here up top, I didn't put them under the light because they just haven't sprouted yet. This is the Miss Bateman Clematis, and there's just nothing. I don't know if I will get anything, but it's right here in like the living room where I can see them. So I'll see if they sprout, but I don't have high hopes. Oh, okay, here's also some of the dahlias that I saved and that my neighbor brought back for me. I have a video on that, but here's an update on how they're all doing. I think growing a lot. I need to do a better job at just like putting them under better light. Right now they're just getting light from the window, and I don't think that's enough. They're maybe getting a little bit leggy, but it's okay. Their roots are doing super well. So I am hopeful that I can start taking them outside soon, at least to start hardening off. I might like pot them up and separate them. I might not. It just depends on how much time and how much space I have. We'll see. Anyways, the rest of what I'm doing is all like chores, boring chores, potting up, hardening them off, like just moving seedlings around where I can find space under lights, where I can find space out in the hoop house, what can go out yet, like what's hardy enough, what's been hardened off enough, and yeah, just more more chores. But it was a good day of gardening today. I'm still gonna just be working on, you know, those chores, potting things up. When things get a little more exciting, I'll let you know and I'll show you. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Bye.